Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This show that's on right now, I really like this show. I was trying to see if they had books, like guidebooks or whatever, that accompanied the show. For instance, in Texas, there was a show called The Eyes of Texas. I think it was KHOU or something like that, Channel 2 out of Houston. And there are guidebooks that go along with the TV show. And then eventually another guy started a show called Texas Country Reporter, and that show also has books that you can buy. And if I turn the light this way, there.
Maybe look up Willem Lang.
Yeah, I did. Well, there's some books by him,
Yeah.
but they're not really this show.
Maybe go to New Hampshire's PBS site.
That's a good idea. I really like what they're doing. I like 99.9% of his shows. Actually, to be honest with you, 100%. I don't think I've seen one yet that I dislike.
I'd like to be able to do that, but I'd have to be part goat to make it up the hill, probably.
Well, see, that's the thing. For those who actually look at our wedding registry,
I wonder if there's mountain goats up there.
Could be. I don't know. It could be. There are things we have on the wedding registry that would help. Like this guy uses two walking poles that are adjustable. We can't afford to buy those for ourselves, but I have it on our wedding registry for each of us, two for each of us. Oh, like 25, 35 bucks. Yeah, at like Walmart, that's how much, you know. So we could buy like one at a time, and by next year we'd have them. There's backpacking, canoeing, sea kayaking. I'm not interested in whitewater kayaks. Sorry, I'm not that young anymore, and I know.
I'd be afraid of the rapids.
Yeah, I mean, if it was something that I was accustomed to and I was in better shape, then maybe. But the reason the sea kayaks are on there, is because I think it would be really fun to go explore the New England islands, especially up in Maine. I mean, there are so many islands in Maine. We could go camp out on the island, go fishing, go crabbing, maybe even catch a lobster, or two, or three, or four, or five. But I wish. Now, I did find this show with one DVD. Well, I don't know how many DVDs are in it, but it's like I don't know if it's just one DVD or multiple DVDs of this guy's hikes. And you know, there's some camping equipment would double, triple, quadruple for other things. Bugging out, bugging in. That stuff would work for both for that. You know, a decent backpack. I just finished working on my Bob. I have to work on my fiance's Bob. I need to call her my fiance until we actually get married, which is coming soon. Let's see. 41 days. Oh gosh. That's not very far. Oh my. Anyway, so you know, and like I've said in other videos, I would love to canoe the Connecticut River. And look, canoeing the Connecticut River wouldn't be quite the same as canoeing the Mississippi, which is another river I'd like to canoe.
I don't know if they let you.
Oh yeah, you can do. Yeah, I've seen
Well,
shows.
I mean, you know.
And there's one guy. He did the Mississippi. He started way up north where it's just like bogs, you know, and then he canoed all the way down to like New Orleans or whatever.
Oh God.
And at one point, he was walking. He was on the land, you know. He was just exploring, and he got into a bed of fire ants, and they had to airlift him out because he had a bad reaction. And it wasn't that he was necessarily allergic; it was that he got stung by so many of them. Yeah. So, but then you know he just went back and started from where he left off. But you know, I haven't camped or backpacked in years. I used to
I can't
look.
imagine trying to dodge the ships on the
Yeah, well,
Mississippi River. It's like, oh shit.
you have to stay over on the
Well,
edge.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Now the Connecticut River is a lot shorter and not anywhere near as wide. You could put what 5 or 6 of them wide in the Mississippi. But anyway, if I
I
could,
think doing the Mississippi would be nerve wracking,
yeah.
especially when you got the barges coming past. Like, ah,
Yeah, and he when he did the show, he introduced you to all sorts of people along on the river. You know, there are actually people who have like a community of houseboats that are just out in the middle of nowhere. And the barges, he introduced some of the people who worked on the barges and people who lived there on the river and all sorts of characters. But anyway, so if I could convince my fiance to do a sea kayaking trip with me, we'd have to get PDFs. No, PFDs, excuse me, personal flotation devices. We used to call those things life jackets. Why don't you just call them life jackets?
now the changes, you know how that is.
No. But I would think that now see there's this one place I would love to see kayak, but I would be extraordinarily
NHPTV.org. Check that website. You might find more about him.
okay. There's one place that I would love to see kayak and explore some islands, but I would not do it without at least 2 more people, each in their own kayak, both of whom had extensive experience. Because you're talking about kayaking 50, 60 miles into the Pacific Ocean before you get to the islands. That's off the Vancouver Island. And some pretty islands, but on the other hand, sea kayaking in Maine would not be that bad. I mean, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because there are a lot of islands all over the coastline from one end to the other. I mean, and it's deep, if you will. It's wide, lots of islands. Lots of islands lengthwise, lots of islands widthwise. And so you're protected to a large extent from some of the turbulence, if you will, from the Atlantic Ocean because of the islands. The islands will help break the currents and break the wind. You're dealing with currents going through islands and rocks, and so you're still having to be really careful. But I'd enjoy that if I could only convince my fiance to do it with me. Now, that's not something I'd want to do by myself.
Well, what are we going to do with the cats?
They can stay here they have Liz take care of everybody for anyway. So now canoeing, on the other hand, wouldn't be that big of a deal. I could do that by myself, even though I would still let my fiance go with me. But if I got her in a canoe, we'd start in maybe Robin Hood Park, because that's calm. We have to get her in there. You have to get used to being in a canoe because it does wobble. But I remember in high school, we were canoeing the Guadalupe River. It was a day trip, and I should have stayed along the bank of the river, but I went straight through this one part, and the canoe went, and then it righted itself. But I was like, I'm going into the Drake, but I didn't. I had caused this poor kid to lose his glasses once. We were canoeing at what they call Lake Marie. It was just a pond. And one of the things we were supposed to do was tip the canoe. You learn how to right the canoe while you're in the water. You learn how to get back in the canoe while you're in the water and all that stuff. He wasn't expecting me to tip it when I tipped it. So his glasses went flying.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Mr. Thibodeau, our PE teacher, he dived down there, felt around, couldn't find him. And he really looked too, but because it was dark, it wasn't clear water. Yeah, so he had to get new glasses because of me.
I think you're one of those people who is dependent on your glasses.
Yeah. So like these, I have those croquis or whatever they're called. I don't even know what they are right now, but I'd have to wear them because they could go flying. Although I need to get these adjusted because they're bent like that.
They go in town.
Yeah, and I'm looking for a green dress coat, dress jacket. I don't want the whole suit. I just seeing if they have a green one. But it really wouldn't look right unless I had, you know, a kilt jacket. You know, one that goes with a kilt.
What's a kilt jacket look like?
Yeah, they look different. I can show you. But, you know, I was looking on the Kohl's website and didn't see anything in green. And Celtic Croft, they're
expensive.
Yeah. Some of them $300, $400, $500. So that's not going to happen. I'm going to get the hackles for the tam. Yeah. I'm going to get the hackles for the tam. Put it up here. Put them up here. What was it? Golden green?
I think so.
And that way green represents Ireland. The gold represents Germany because my fiance is of German stock. I'm of Irish stock. But
there's probably a little Irish blood in me, but more German than anything.
Yeah. So, you know, the camping, backpacking, canoeing, kayaking, that type of stuff that's on the wedding registry, guess what? We would use it for camping. Might even use it for backpacking. Definitely use it if we had to bug out. Definitely use it if we had to bug in, especially in wintertime. Some of those sleeping bags are rated to like -20. And if power went out here,
it could get bad up here.
Yeah, if power went out in the wintertime, you would need.
A winter like last year.
Yeah, you would need those sleeping bags. And the basement is warm in the wintertime because the furnaces are down there, and it's sheltered, you know. But cold settles, and if we lost power, the cold would just settle right down into the basement, and you wouldn't want that. And it could take days or weeks to get the power back, considering the kind of weather we have up here in the wintertime. So the thing is, I really, really want to canoe the Connecticut River. And there's a way that we can actually be together part of the time if she doesn't want to go with me. Because you have to portage. Because there are dams along the river. So you have to portage. And there would be stretches where I would just camp. I wouldn't have to portage. But once I got to a certain point, once I get close to a dam, I have to portage. You see road signs. It said portage area or something. So what she could do is she could like kind of follow me down as I go down. And that way,
down.
And then if the portage area has a camping area, and then we can just stay together, you know, that way. And that way she doesn't have to actually get in the water.
I never learned how to swim very good.
Yeah. So, you know, and you know, it's one thing to say, well, I know what to do if you know you're in rapids and you're thrown out of your boat. It's one thing to say you know what to do and to know what to do. It's another thing to do it. I've never had to do it. I know what to do. Put feet first because you'd rather have your feet get cut up than your head. But if you actually go into the drink, you may panic, even if you have a life jacket on.
You don't want to hit your head on rocks. Or
Yeah, that's why you go feet first. But if you're panicking, you might not think that. You might just be flailing around trying to get out. That's why you don't panic. But it's easy to say don't panic. It's another thing not to do it. But if we had camping and backpacking gear, we could go places and do things more
Big
than we
John
do
will
now.
see how waterproof he is.
John would probably actually enjoy going. So,
Before we go after a birdie, if he could
oh yeah.
say, ooh, a chirp chirp.
So anyway, so there's a reason we have camping and backpacking and canoeing and kayaking stuff because, frankly, I know I would enjoy those things. The camping bit, my fiance would enjoy to some degree. Um, I never did ultralight backpacking. That I bet I can still do. I mean, I never did ultralight backpacking, but that is something I could do. There we go.
What's that?
You take like the bare necessities. But I used to go heavy, like 80, 85 pound pack. I didn't need that much stuff. But once I took, or a couple of times I took um, plaster of Paris with me. Why did I take plaster of Paris? And that stuff's heavy. Because I was hoping I would come across wolf tracks or bear tracks. But no, I didn't find any. Just take a camera with you. So, anyway, I mean, we have places to canoe and to camp and to backpack up here. Lots of places. You don't have that in Texas. You have it up here, though. Lots. That's Socks behind me. Hello, Socks. But you know, do you need to take a gun and ammunition? When I never did. And look, I was in I was in grizzly bear country. I was in black bear country. I was in mountain lion country. I mean, I've heard of people being attacked. I've never met anyone who's been attacked. I think what's best to take is bear spray. It's safer all around. But if you have to bug out, or if there's a disaster, and even if you're stuck at home and you have to hunt for your food, you have to get frogs. We didn't have frogs down in San Antonio that you could gig. Have them up here though. Um, I'd love to be able to get out and do stuff like that again. I used to have that stuff to use. I don't have it anymore. And I'd love to introduce my fiance to that kind of thing. I mean, there's nothing better than standing on the side of a cliff, you know, 200 feet up off the ocean to look out and see the breaching of whales, or see a bald eagle just lazily fly by, or when you're down by the water to see a harbor seal popping its head up and down, going up and down, because they're looking for food. They're like, oh, these creatures over there, sometimes they have food. Maybe they'll throw me something. But I like to fish. So I'd love to do some saltwater fishing, sea kayaking, and fish. The sea kayak I think would be best if we both used it as a tandem. If it's just going to be me, then just But I want a touring kayak and a touring canoe because I want to actually get out there and stay out there for a while. I don't want to just go out there for the day. I want to go out there for a few days, and I want to camp and I want to backpack. I loved doing that. And I miss being able to do that. And I like to shoot. I swear, Guns and Ammo, and Google just announced they are no longer going to enable people to look up guns, ammunition, and stuff like that.
Oh, bullshit.
No. So, they're the people responsible for all this. They're working on it, scaring people half to death about guns, and they shouldn't be scared. I mean, if you think about how many people actually own guns and don't use them criminally, and how many people, the criminals are still going to go and try and get guns. They'll find a way to get them if they want them. But anyway, and it'll make me a criminal, though. But anyway. And some of that survival food that we have on the wedding registry, we could use that for camping and backpacking. Even though it's intended for survival, we wouldn't necessarily use much of it for such trips because we'd need to save it. But we can use canned food more than I mean, if we had to bug out, you wouldn't want to carry cans of food with you. But if you're at home, canned food is good. Anyway, bye.